This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first guest today is Brad Summers from the Boys and Girls Club of Alpena. Hi, Brad.
Good morning, Nancy.
Well, I'm sure you had a very Merry Christmas, and I know that things were crazy at the club, kids anticipating the holidays, and but I know you have some great statistics and end-of-year stats to throw out there to us.
Well, 2017 was a wonderful year for the Boys and Girls Club. This community supported the initiatives and the programs and everything that the staff has been doing with these kids for the duration of this year. We were able to serve just over 1,200 kids this year.
Amazing.
Through different programs, different outreach initiatives, such as Youth for Unity, different teenage programs that we're running, activity nights, event nights, dinners, you name it. And of the 1,200 kids that we were able to serve in 2017, 35 of those kids come at least once a year.
Wow.
That may not sound like a lot, but when you're serving that many kids, 400 or 500 kids that are coming, pretty consistently, and it's a good problem to have.
Yes,
and
it is.
I shouldn't say a problem, but it's great to see the amount of parents that feel comfortable bringing their kids to our facility. The relationships that they build with our staff and the rapport that we build with their kids is truly inspiring for me to watch from afar. The staff has undergone a lot of training this year. We've really stepped up and amped up the amount of resources that we're providing for the kids. And it's paying dividends for our organization because we really want to serve more kids more
Yes.
often. And if we're able to build that relationship with the parents to allow their children to come and visit us, it only makes us stronger. It only makes the community stronger because we're putting a lot into the resources that we're providing for these kids.
Well, you know what? It just seems to me to be a no-brainer. Your kids stay home alone where you don't know what they're doing, or they go to the Boys and Girls Club where there's caring staff, educated staff, mentors, peers, things to do, fun things to do, education disguised as fun. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Plus the cost is what's amazing to me.
And we keep it's $20 for a full year, or $10 for the school year, $10 for the summer programming. And we're able to keep it so low because of, again, this very supportive community that we live in. We want to keep it low, and the board of directors, has recognized that if we keep it and continue to keep it low, it takes a lot of burden off the family structures. It makes it much more feasible for them to allow their children to come. We have a lot of parents that have no problem paying, and then we have some parents that have a really hard time, especially this time of year.
And we don't turn anyone away.
We do not turn anybody away. As long as I'm sitting in that seat as the executive director, we will never turn a child away from our organization. And in the 92 years of existence that we've been in Alpena, we've never turned a kid away. So no matter what, if you can afford it or you can't afford it, we're always willing to work something out. Because if your kid is at our facility, we know that they are safe, they are being fed, and they are building caring relationships with peers and with the staff.
Yes, and one of those great programs that you talked about was junior high activity nights are going to be continuing.
Yes, this is our initiative that we've had is trying to retain more of the tween age, 11 to 13. Or 11 to 15, and the high school age kids as well. The teenagers are the kids that really, really choose to be at our facility. Most of the time they walk, most of the time they're playing sports, they have jobs, things like that. So when they come to visit us, they're coming on their free time. And if we can attract those kids to visit our facility or to endeavor in some of the initiatives of the programs that we're running, we know that we're really making a big impact on the next generation of leaders.
Right.
It starts at 6 when we have the kids at the club, but a lot of time the younger kids are coming off the school buses or the parents are dropping them off. Like I said, teens, they walk to our facility. They find a lot of their own modes of transportation to get there. So if we can attract them, we know we're really, really making that impact.
And your Youth Volunteer Corps, busy year-round, and they've got some projects they're doing right now.
They do. You know, the big project that's coming up is January 15th is the Martin Luther King Jr. Project. This is a project that we, as an organization, have done for many, many, many years. We were able to receive a grant through the Michigan Service Commission and our Community Service Commission, and we're able to buy some resources, some fleece blankets that we want to donate to the shelters, to the mission, families at the Boys and Girls Club, and some kids and some parents that we've recognized at Lincoln School. So, you know, it's a great project. Brooke Mainville is doing an amazing job with recruiting kids. More and more kids are signing up for the program, and you know, this program is to build leaders for the next generation and provide them ways to become more in tune with their community, find out what's going on, and meet wonderful people, and do some awesome things to help people out.
And then Martin Luther King Day.
Yep, and that's the big one.
That's the big one.
That's the big one that we have coming up. You know, and we're always excited to be able to do something for Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
You're doing recycled cap art project.
Yep, and that one is that's part of the Martin Luther King Jr. project as well. And we've been taking donations. Brooke's been taking donations of bottle caps, and like different colored ones, fun bottle caps. And we're doing like a big mosaic. And this art, the art is going to be on display at the Art in the Loft, the Jessie Bester Museum, and at the Boys and Girls Club. So it'll be a lot of fun when we actually see what it's going to look like all together.
Wonderful. Holiday help.
Holiday help. Oh boy, yeah. We've had a lot of holiday help this year. You know, GNC has been extremely forthcoming with us. They put up a tree this year where people can make donations of hygiene items, clothing, socks, and just school supplies to donate to the kids. We actually just received this week. Monica and her team were just wonderful at acquiring this and starting this initiative here, and it's been wonderful because I mean there's so many kids that go without.
Yes.
And you know, sometimes when we have these lists, these wish lists that we give the kids, you know, when kids give us a list and it comes back with, I need shirts and socks and underwear, toothbrushes, things like that, it really hits home. So it's wonderful to have these partnerships where we can provide more to those kids as well.
Okay, we're just about out of time, but you said Silly String, the CEO, went well.
Yes. So this year for the Giving Tuesday, we set a goal of $1,000, which is, you know, we thought, hey, that's
ambitious.
That's ambitious. It's an awesome goal. I mean, it's money. You know, last year we were able to garner just over $800. So we said, well, we'll shoot a little higher. And we pulled the kids and asked them, you know, what would you like to do if we met this goal? And they had a few crazy ideas like duct taping me to a wall or duct taping the staff to the wall or food fights or you name it, the kids came up with it. Well, this year they wanted to silly string me. So we were able to raise just over $8,000 this year. So, you know, it's really nice too because the kids realize that we can set goals and objectives,
yes,
and that the community is supportive where we can reach these goals. So the kids are learning a lot from this as well, just by participating and helping with this. But it was absolutely amazing to reach the goal we did. I had 75 kids hit me with silly string, which was a lot of fun as I was dressed in my elf suit. So it was fun.
And you know, thinking about the community that donated over $120,000 on Giving Tuesday in one day, you know, doesn't get any better than that.
No, it's pretty supportive. Alpena is extremely supportive.
Well, Happy New Year. Look forward to talking to you after the new year and catching up on all the great things happening at the Boys and Girls Club.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Nancy.
you. I'll be right back following these messages.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster, president of Alpena Community College, and I'm pleased to have as our guest this morning Andrew Pad, manufacturing technology instructor at ACC. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you.
Yeah, Andrew, you're doing some great stuff, and I've seen some of the output here this week. You and your students have done. Could you share with the viewers some of that work and how it came to be?
Sure. We started out with some basic projects, some basic programs, and the students, they ran from there. They had trouble slowing down. I made some shop rats there out of them. So, you know, like I said, we started out with some real basic projects, learning the fundamentals of CNC and manual machining. And after that, they just ran wild. They've made keychains, and that was the favorite of this semester so far. We've also dabbled in mold making and 3D manufacturing, so an actual 3D part, not just simple 2D cuts.
So for people who are not knowledgeable about the manufacturing world, what does CNC stand for?
It stands for Computer Numerical Control. It's fundamentally like manual machining, as most people are familiar with, but then the computer controls the machines themselves to run a program. It's typically quicker than manual machining. The output is a lot faster, and it changes all the time. So
when I was in this week, you were showing me you had a very high-end machine, and there was a part, and the machine was cutting a design in the face of the part. It was about this big, and it was the lumberjack with some etchings on it. Now, how do you get a machine to do all those different functions?
That's one of the things that most people are apprehensive about CNC and thinking it is very difficult to do. In all actuality, the computer program that we use primarily would be SolidWorks or Autodesk, and it takes a lot of the work out of it. It's not very math intensive. It takes a little bit of patience, and once the model is done in the computer will pretty much generate all the numbers for you.
Wow, so a student would design it in SolidWorks in a CAD software program and then import it into the machine.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
And some of the programs are actually very user-friendly. It is not extremely labor-intensive. In fact, a couple of the programs that we use have many different uses. They not only are for CNC, but a lot of them actually make video games. So you can, it's very intuitive. It's not complicated. It doesn't take months and months or years even of learning. We pretty much, on the first week, we're already designing parts, and that lumberjack was one of them.
It sure was, and to me, it's a work of art, really, what you've done there. And
thank you.
You were referencing the shop rats. It looked like they were having fun too.
Yes, once they got hooked on the CNC, 4 of my students I don't think ever left. So we used to joke that their cot was hidden out back behind the machine.
So, there's a lot of folks in our area that are familiar with manufacturing. Manufacturing is a part of the DNA of Alpena and the surrounding communities. What sort of skills would a person need to make a career in that field? Well, 2 questions. Can a career be made in that field? And what sort of skills would a young person need to thrive in it?
The opportunities in the field are endless. When you come through the program, you don't just get CNC, you get manual machining, you get CAD experience and CAM experience, and lots of shop time, which I enjoy. You also get manual machining, so and then most of the students have added welding with that, so they have a wide variety. In fact, when I went through the program, I went for CNC and ended up working programming CAD's parts for a local company. So there's a great opportunity in the program itself.
There are jobs out there then?
There is one of the one of the faster growing fields in manufacturing. And it is traditionally, a lot of folks are scared away from it, thinking it is very intense and there's lots to remember and lots of math, which I always tell everybody, if you know 0 to 9 and ABCs and can learn about 5 rules, you can program CNC fairly easily.
Really?
It is actually very easy.
That's interesting. So you don't need to know Algebra 2 or trigonometry or to be able to thrive in this?
No, sir. And in fact, they're like giant calculators. If you don't know trigonometry, it'll do it for you. So.
Very good. So, not to go too far down this trail, but I'm intrigued by it. What would an entry-level CNC operator expect to make wage-wise, maybe regionally or in the state?
It varies greatly by the size of the company you work for. And experience is a big part, which is the great part about Northern Michigan, is there's so many businesses that do accept entry level, and you can get the experience locally before you want to maybe move downstate to a larger company. So that is one of the benefits of being in northern Michigan as far as CNC goes, is just the pure opportunity to start an entry-level job.
So there's careers out there, there's jobs, they're good paying, they're interesting, you're making things, and being part of the manufacturing economy if you go through the program at ACC.
Absolutely, and you don't need much or any experience really to start the program. We start right out at the ground level. You start out with manual machines and learn fundamentals of how machines themselves work, and that's important when you move on to the next stages. I like to start everybody early as possible, so as soon as you're getting the fundamentals, we move right into the more advanced stuff. Most of the students are really excited to get on the big machines, so I don't want to hold them back, so we get going very quickly.
And you can see that they find that appealing. You know, they like to get on the machines and start making things.
Absolutely. Most of them, it was hard to hold them back or tell them, oh, well, we won't be working in the shop right now, and they were really excited. They always wanted to be working on machines and programming, and most of them that had zero experience at the beginning of the semester were making very intricate parts by the end of the semester.
Wow, that's great.
And the CAM system, we introduced 2 brand new CAM systems to them that they'd never seen before. Didn't even slow them down. They took right to it, and they were making fairly complex parts in their very first semester.
So Andrew, we have about 30 seconds left. If you wanted to get a message out to viewers, young people who might want to entertain this as a career, what would it be?
Just do it. It is not very complicated. It is not math intensive. A lot of, like I said before, a lot of the folks think that it's going to be very math intensive, or you have to learn a great number of rules. And the nice thing about it is fairly basic. Like I said, a few numbers and letters, a couple basic rules, and the computer will guide you through almost everything.
Wonderful. Andrew, thanks for talking with us, and thanks for inspiring your students. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you folks for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your host, Nancy Smitham and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.